Yes, the eShop has so many games at any one time that it can become a little bit overwhelming, and that's what we're here for. We've been scouring the eShop. We do this every Sunday to help you find the best deals across the UK, US, and EU eShop so that you don't have to spend hours trawling through. So, what are the best games on sale right now that are worth your hard-earned cash? I'm James and Mary here at SwitchWatch. Let's jump in and find out. I'm kicking things off this week with something that's a little bit different. Stela is a cinematic, atmospheric platformer about a young woman witnessing the final days of a mysterious, ancient world. You will need to overcome daunting challenges, treacherous terrain, and gargantuan beasts whilst traversing a decaying land. The game requires you to manipulate the environment to solve elaborate puzzles and creep past dangerous creatures under cover of muted landscapes, all set to an original soundtrack. It's an atmospheric experience where survival is the aim of the game, a bargain with 65% off. Shadows of Adam takes us back to the pixelated SNES days of JRPGs with its retro graphics and tunes. It's all here, from the magical story to the turn-based battles and overworld map to explore. Yet it does this whilst leaving some of the frustrations from those games behind. Notably, you restore a bunch of AP after each battle, which keeps things moving and lets you use your badass skills and spells each time. It also runs at a respectable 10 to maybe 12 or so hours, which makes it pleasant without outstaying its welcome. This one is definitely worth checking out. It has a good hit of nostalgia with some fresh gameplay too, and it has a very healthy 50% off right now. Elli is a 3D platformer with a fairly fixed isometric viewpoint and lovely handcrafted gameplay and visuals. It plays a bit like Super Mario Land 3D and is certainly influenced by Zelda in its aesthetics. It's a solid pick that can be enjoyed by youngsters and adults alike. It's a chilled out platformer with some puzzles, and that's all there is to it really. With 75% off, it's at a really decent price point now. Now, this is an action RPG that is truly an adventure and one of Jordan's favourites to boot. You are shipwrecked on a mysterious island and all the other passengers are spread around you. You get to explore around searching for heroes to bring together to your home base, which gradually builds up. All the while, you're trying to plan your escape. But there is a very mysterious link with the eponymous Dana as you switch between them. It's a fascinating story that is always developing. The action combat is excellent, and it's just so fresh compared to many overly serious JRPGs of today. Strikey Sisters blends block-breaking classic gameplay with fantasy role-playing, and the result is intriguing. The game is clearly made to be enjoyed with two players, one taking each sister's role, and doing so makes for a fun arcade gameplay. Single player, you can enjoy the game, levels and bosses, but breaking blocks and enemies solo is just that little bit tougher. It's a bit more of a slog. The retro style and synth tunes work nicely. This is one worth checking out if you enjoy classics like Breakout. Now, if you're after a solid JRPG experience, then this deep series full of branching stories and classic mechanics and combat strategy is a strong choice. It's most certainly going to be best if you have played the first games in the series, and the port quality is really strong. This one has a very healthy 45% off right now, making it worth a look. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin is a real pleasant surprise, combining rice farming simulation and 2D platforming into a charming package with a lovely little story to boot. You play as Sakuna, a spoiled goddess who has been exiled and needs to learn some humility, let alone how to farm rice. The game doesn't tell you what to do, and it's rewarding to learn what you can do. It's something a bit different and worth trying for sure. It's definitely going to impress you, I think, this one. The Takeover is a side-scrolling beat-em-up inspired by the genre-defining classic games of the 90s like Streets of Rage. It does this in a retro shell with bright colours and a modern faceover, and it works really well. You can battle solo or alongside a friend in local co-op whilst listening to awesome tunes from Richie Branson, James Ronald, and industry legend Yuzo Koshiro. Definitely worth it with 65% off at the minute. Next up, it's Streets of Rogue. Now, this is a roguelite that features fast-paced action and is set in a city instead of the usual dungeon, synonymous with these types of games. It looks a bit like Enter the Gungeon, but this is all about choice. There are 24 classes. Most of these are unlocked as you start with just 6, and you can essentially be whoever you want to be and tackle the game however you want. It leads to intriguing runs, and when you throw in multiplayer with up to 3 friends alongside you, this becomes even more exciting. Now, Hard West is worth buying purely on price, but on top of that, it's actually a very good turn-based tactical game, which we really enjoyed here at SwitchWatch. This one went on sale recently. It's been on sale a few times, to be fair, but now it has a massive 90% off. It used to be a tad expensive, but certainly not anymore. If you love Western games with a twist, then check this one out. Yes, Your Grace tells a tale of Davon, a medieval kingdom ruled by King Eric. In this kingdom management RPG, petitioners will arrive in the throne room each turn to ask for your advice and assistance. The game is set in a fictional world where monsters and arcane practices inspired by Slavic folklore are the order of the day. Villagers will ask for your help with various problems, from monsters attacking the village to a lack of places to relax and enjoy themselves. Some will bring humour to your throne room, and some will present you with difficult choices. Your family is important too, and throughout your time as king, you will have to support them in their struggles. The Wild West that was the internet of the 90s was a gaudy, flashy and bonkers place. Hypnospace Outlaw lovingly recreates this inch perfectly, complete with ugly grey windows, irritating pop-ups, and hilarious characters. You are out to stop the copyright infringers, online bullies, and scammers. It's completely different from other games, and it's really worth taking the trip. Nowhere Profit hits 2 game styles that I love: deck building card games and strategic choice-based adventures. This is a post-apocalyptic world in which you travel the map one turn-based node at a time, stumbling upon battles and sites of interest as you build your deck and aim to survive this harsh land. What's nice is, beyond completing a single run, there are multiple difficulty unlocks and challenges to keep you coming back for more. A nice choice for solo fun with 60% off. The Bug Butcher is a classic arcade panic-style game directly inspired by Super Buster Bros. And most closely, Hang. Each stage is timed and the action feels straight out of arcade machines, complete with power-ups, combos, banging tunes, and waves of bugs descending down on you. It's pure, uncomplicated fun, and the additions of co-op and panic modes are very welcome indeed. Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York is a visual novel based on the popular and deep series that expanded out of tabletop gaming, and it shows there's depth here with excellently written story. And though there isn't a whole lot of choice making or gameplay, it sucks you into its fantastic world for another bite. Yes, there are multiple playthroughs here on offer if you want them. 60% off is attractive. A worthwhile vampire romp, this one. Graveyard Keeper is a Stardew Valley type game, except with dead bodies. Whilst it doesn't quite reach the level of that game in terms of quality, it's still a decent enough effort, and there's quite a bit of varied fun to be had, especially with it now having 50% off. It was $20 and now it's up for just $10, which for us is excellent value. We think this one is definitely worth a punt if you're wanting something like Stardew but with a bit of a twist. And that's it for us this week. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then please do come back next Sunday, where we'll be back with more bargains for you. We'll also be back tomorrow with Jordan's roundup of this week's physical releases. I'm James O'Meara here at SwitchWatch. Thanks again. Let us know what your pick is this week down below, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everyone.